All right.
Okay.
Welcome all to the return of Headlines and Headaches on VoiceItRadio.com. I am your host tonight. My name is Larry H. Gardner. H stands for How About Those Cavaliers Disappointing Us Again? And the first thing before I get into tonight's topic, I just want to say to the Cleveland Cavaliers, y'all gave us thrills and chills. Unfortunately, it's short in the second round due to injuries. The Indiana Pacers have moved on. 4-1 series game winning thing. They're now going to face either the New York Knicks or the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. By the way, New York Knicks is leading that particular basketball series, that playoff series, 3-2. The Minnesota Timberwolves put out the Golden State Warriors last night. Anthony Edwards again is going to his Eastern Conference Finals. What else? OKC and Denver are duking it out tonight. So whoever wins that series, OKC is up 3-2. Whoever wins that series between OKC and Denver will meet Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. Indiana's already punched their ticket on us, things of that nature. And, despite, Donovan's best effort, Darius coming back, we had a lot of injuries in the second round. The Pacers, Halliburton and all that, got to give them credit and kudos. I'm salty too, but happy belated Mother's Day moving on. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers that are in the building. I hope y'all had a wonderful Mother's Day. Of course, this is the first Mother's Day without my mom being in physical presence. With my mom in France, who passed away March 26th of this year. And she is no longer here. She's now with the ancestors with my father, Larry Gardner Sr. Has it been a rough couple of months for your boy? Yeah, it has. But I know that it's been a rough couple of months for the country, considering all the tariffs that have been going on. By the way, the president of Donald Trump and other leaders have called a 90-day ceasefire to all the tariffs, which should have never happened in the first place. I'm really sick of all the tariff BS right about now. It's just, tax on U.S. goods. And if you try to order from Temu, pretty much you are screwed. And I get most of my stuff from Temu because it's cheap. So, all them shipping charges is not nice. Anything it went from $9 to $29 for shipping. I'm like, I ain't doing it. We not doing this today. I'm holding off on that particular order. The order itself was like $15 because everything was cheap. But the thing about it is, like, on shipping charge, might as well just go ahead and either order from Amazon or go to your local store. At least you know that the shipping is already here. You can go pick it up, bring it home. All right. So I'm going to get into this, and I'm just going to start by saying that, and it's about the Diddy trial. And it's about the Diddy trial. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say it. First of all, let's break down the facts. Sean Combs has been held in federal prison ever since March or April 2024. So that's been a year for charges of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and racketeering, pretty much RICO laws. Nothing for domestic violence. Usually the states do that. So before y'all start jumping on the testimonies from everybody that happened, let us move on. All right. So first of all, before anybody says anything in the damn comment section, before y'all try to pick a side or whatever, and before you try to throw Tory Lorenz in there for whatever, it's an 8-week trial. It's an 8-week trial, meaning that the jury, whoever selected, is going to spend 8 weeks looking at the causes, deliberating, things of that nature. 8 weeks. Some of you people who've been commenting about this can't do 8 hours standing on your head as far as dealing with something. These people are going to have to be around each other for 8 weeks. Prayers to their families. You know, I just got my thing for jury duty. I'm got to call them tomorrow because there's some stuff that I got to take care of next week that I cannot be on a jury at this particular point in time. First of all, it's 8 weeks. Second of all, and I would like to say this up front, that if it's 8 weeks for this particular trial, 8 weeks, then that means that in the interest of fairness, you have to give it 8 weeks. This trial, this has been years on investigation and everything else like that. This has not just been fly by night. You know, they raided the man's house in 2023. Of course, the lawsuit that happened with Cassidy Ventura, aka Cassie, everything else. Now, I'm going to go back to Cassie's testimony she's got 3, I think she's going to testify tomorrow. She's got 3 days of testifying. She came in, somebody else testified. There was a male escort that testified about the sexual acts of Cassie and Sean Combs. I'm not calling that man Diddy. I don't really give a damn. Diddy is just he is a disgusting individual that gives him power. I'm calling him Mr. Combs, Sean Combs, sir, or John. Sean Combs not only had men, escorts, paid for the escorts to not only have sex with his girlfriend, Cassie, while he masturbated, and this is going to get graphic, but had the men and himself urinate in Cassie's mouth for sex acts for sexual gratification for Sean Combs. Now, as much as I was revoltedly disgusted by reading and hearing this, I'm also remotely disgusted by some of the comments that people are saying. Let me explain something to you idiots out there. Most of you men and most of you women out there, and some of you who are African American. Let me explain something to y'all. Cassie was 19 years old when she met this man. He was 38. Y'all talk about that she was a home wrecker when he was with Kim Porter. Newsflash, he wasn't faithful to Kim even before Cassie came along. Puffy has always picked young women after Kim left to control them, just like he did Cassie. Y'all saying for 10 years she could have left. How could she have left when Mr. Combs has been accused of blowing up cars of people that she was dating, from Kid Cudi to everybody else? You expected, like, the thing about it is like, ever since she was 19 years old, Mr. Sean Combs, or y'all want to call him Diddy, Sean Combs has controlled with muscle, music, everything, controlled her young life by making her what to eat, who to see, what to wear, how many times they do a freak off, all that. When Cassie moved into her own apartment, he came in there and sexually assaulted her. She finally moved on to her husband, Alex, who talked about an open letter about domestic violence and abuse and things of that nature. Yes, he heard the disgusting things that she was put through. But the thing about it is she was in love with this man. He wasn't in love with her. He didn't give a shit about her. He never did. Excuse me for saying that. But the thing about it is like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that Sean Combs, Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever the hell you want to call him right about now, has done to not only her, but the other artists. Look at the people for making the band. Look at Other artists that he's dealt with, I mean, let me see, G-Dep's in jail. Black Rob is dead. Of course, the greatest of all time, but one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time, Notorious Big, Notorious Big, or Biggie Smalls is dead. And by the way, I'm going to say this if you ain't heard me say it before. After Tupac got killed down in LA, there was no way in hell that Puffy should have had Biggie go down there in LA when 6 months later. You wait at least a year and a half to 2 years. They can receive the award from home. But you as the CEO, and I don't care if you don't care about the person, but the thing about it is that Biggie was your prize moneymaker. I'm protecting the moneymaker. I'm not sending him down there. We ain't going to LA. Nah, it's too hot down there still. And they walking around there, and somebody going back to Cali and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, you led him to his death. Well, of course, Mays hopping back and forth, didn't want to deal with him. Man, ye owe Mays $202 million. Then he said, Sean Combs said, I don't owe him nothing. Bad Boy didn't owe him anything. Of course, Mr. Combs learned from the master manipulator, Mr. Clive Davis. So let's put it out there as far as anything disturbing. He worked with Andre Harrell at a time until Andre Harrell fired him. But the thing about it is that, okay, stop asking the question. What law did he break with Cassie? It was domestic violence. The thing about it is, what I'm trying to say is that it's an 8-week case, meaning that if you transport somebody, human trafficking and sexual trafficking pretty much are the same things. If you fly somebody in to have sex for money, it is illegal. What they are proving, what the prosecutors are trying to prove, is that with the Cassie testimony, of course, with the videotape where he pretty much beat her to a pulp in that hotel room, they are proving that Sean Combs, Diddy, whatever you want to call him, is a dangerous character that built an enterprise off of entertainment, but really behind the scenes, they were human trafficking people, sexual assaults, and he was the main person in charge of it. That's the law that's being, and the thing about it is, and that falls under RICO predicates, because the simple fact of the matter is that RICO predicates were made for criminal organizations like the mafia. And what was the mafia known for? Besides illegal gambling and illegal drinking, mafia also ran prostitution rings, aka human trafficking, which we call it now, but they call it prostitution rings back in the day. So they ran the girls, they ran the booze, they ran the money. So if one of those predicates or one of those human trafficking, sex trafficking, if he is convicted of one, he can spend at least 10 to 20 years behind bars. Right. One. And by the way, Mr. Colson is late 50s, I think like 55. So if you take away 10 years and put that man in prison for at least 10 to 15, then you're going to take away the organization itself, the head of it. Let me see. What's that? Always that quote? If you cut the head off, the snake will die. So the body of the organization is not going to live. Look at one Marion Suge Knight of Death Row Records. By the way, he doesn't own Death Row anymore. Snoop Dogg, real name Calvin Brodus. Snoop Dogg owns Death Row. Who was a former artist of Death Row, escaped, went to No Limit, came back, made enough money with Martha Stewart to buy Death Row Records from Suge because of the simple fact of the matter is Suge was Suge was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, including running people over and causing somebody to and killing people. He unalived somebody. So two of the biggest African-American record labels in the 90s are now about to be destroyed because both of these individuals who are at the top of these organizations, not only did they let their artists get unalived, the two top main stars get unalived, the rest of Suge let one of the best producers go away, start his own record label. Now he's a freaking billionaire in Dr. Dre. Pretty much have destroyed their worth. Diddy built up Mary J. Blige and Jodeci with his hip hop beats and stuff like that. He was a great producer. Suge was a great businessman who ruled by ruthless aggression. Sean Combs, wherever he'll go down in history as the person who pretty much destroyed himself by the acts that he was doing. A lot of people say that he's bisexual or he's gay or he should have came out the closet. Whatever he was, if you use people for sex or rape people in the industry and then show tapes of them is wrong. You think he wasn't taping Cassie while she was doing all that repugnant shit? She was. And when she wanted to leave from him, and this wasn't the first time, we saw what happened the hotel when she tried to get away from him. He snatched her phone and then he snatched her. By the way, somebody said that Mr. Combs has a little sexual organ. They call it a Tootsie Roll. But, I digress. I'm not going to go after the man's parts. I'm sure that, I feel bad for his family, especially his daughters who are listening to the testimony. And a lot of people are white. Well, what about Cassie's husband, Alex? And then the second thing is, what about the money? What about the money? Cassie settled this. She went out of court. She settled this. She didn't bring the federal charges to him. Let me explain something. The day that it leaked that she was suing Diddy for $30 million, what happened 24 hours later? He settled. When he settled, red flags pop up. Why did he settle so fast? Why didn't he fight it? Is there some smoking guns in there that the FBI, should we be criminally investigating this dude? So everybody who's blaming Cassie, she was just as responsible for the freak offs as he was. No, she wasn't, because she was not the one orchestrating the freak offs. He was. All his little minions and everything else like that. See, the thing about Black Light, it's another black man going down. I'm going to just give you an example locally. Bashir Jones. My friend Bashir. And I think that Bashir is a great person, was a great person, could have been a great councilman for Ward 7 if he just stayed there longer. And I've met him numerous of times, and he always treated me with respect. Got caught with the fraud, and he admitted to the guilt. But people are like, they're just they're just locking up all of our black men. It's not like they went to his freaking door. They investigated it. These are fair charges. And the sentence that he got is lightweight compared to the sentence that he could have got. Am I disappointed in what Bashir has done? Yes. But at the same time, I have to look at the letter of the law. You say, well, everybody else is doing it. White people are doing it. Bashir don't have the complexion for the protection. Plus, he's Muslim. Come on now, stop with the BS and all the Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. He's been dead. quote unquote. I think he got unalived by the royal family. Harvey Weinstein was put in jail and everything else like that. So all that other stuff, everybody's saying, listen, white folks have been punished for their crimes. It's just a simple fact of the matter is that just like in a situation of anything, you don't follow the footsteps of somebody that pretty much was brought here to destroy you. You don't follow in their footsteps of corruption because it doesn't end well for you, especially African-American men. You don't follow in that destruction. You're supposed to be the beacon of light for decency. Is the music business cutthroat? Yes. But the bottom line is that you're not supposed to follow in the footsteps of the corrupt that paved their way. You're supposed to maybe have this stuff laid out different. The funniest thing is that with all the stuff that's been going on, you ain't heard Dr. Dre's name besides, well, he was beating on Michelle A when he got drunk in that documentary or anything else like that. He just got divorced and else like that. You ain't heard, like, besides Suge making up all those rumors about Dre's sexuality. And I think that they're rumors because he was mad because Dre left. You ain't heard Dr. Dre ain't no legal, no sexual freak off, none of that shit. You ain't none of that shit. You ain't heard his name, Cube's name, nobody. Now, as far as Jay-Z's concerned, where Jay-Z at? Jay-Z's doing what Jay-Z's supposed to do. He's got his black wife, his black children, and is staying his black ass out the way it is. Well, he avoiding it. He should be right there in the courtroom with him because Jay-Z next. Why? Because everybody says that he's next. Jay-Z like, no, I'm not. I'm staying over here out the way with my black wife, my black children. Meanwhile, Kanye attacking his kids. No, dog. Stay on. I'm staying over here. Jay-Z ain't said nothing about Diddy, and he's not going to. Why do you want him to say anything about Diddy? That ain't his case. When Tony Busby tried to say that Jay-Z raped the girl with Diddy, Jay-Z said, these are criminal charges. You gonna get me criminally? Because otherwise we gonna fight this in court. We ain't settling nothing. You ain't getting a dime from me. You know what happened? You know what Busby did? He backed off. The person that said these accusations recanted their story, and you ain't heard nothing since because, Jay, I'm going to fight this. And the thing about it is like when Diddy settled, he knew that tape was coming out. And as soon as hell enough, he came out. You know what Diddy said? I'm sorry. I was effed up. He on social media trying to explain. One bad, even if it was like, everybody said, well, maybe that's just one bad moment. No, if you look at the videos of him and Cassie together, which they point out, he was always looking to control where she was. He even controlled the way she wore her hair. Now, the thing about it is like African-American men in the audience, you already know, you can't control the way an African-American woman wears her hair. White folks can't even control the way a woman wears her hair. When Cassie did that bald stuff on the side of it, that mohawk, that was something because he had the same mohawk. He wanted her to have that. Imagine for 10 years, somebody controlled everything you ate, everything you wore, even the way you wore your hair. Every sexual move that you did, every intimate private moment that you did, having freak-offs for 4 days, you had to rub around and walk around in baby oil and get freaking and get shot up, having UTIs, all that. And then if you don't cooperate, you get beat up. That was Cassie's life. Some of y'all said, well, if he pissed on me, I wouldn't have said nothing. What if he slapped you in the face if you didn't swallow it? Yeah, different, huh? And the thing about it is, like, I'm a man. I don't care. Like, a man, I grew up on Bad Boy and No Limit and Death Row. I don't condone none of this crap. Some of y'all are like, the thing about it is like and some of you guys out there, y'all just sick. And then y'all trying to rap, and then of course here comes the Facebook, the Facebook attorneys. Well, what I can see here, if I was the jury, man, shut up. Nobody want to hear your opinion about. Oh, it's like I'm tired of y'all doing with this crap. Free Tory because he didn't do it. His girl, Megan's friend shot her. He took the rap for it. You know why? Because he was screwing them both. He didn't want Megan to find out. So if he took the rap for a friend, if she knew what happened, and now everybody's presenting this evidence, if he took the rap for her, by the way, he got stabbed in jail. Or somebody that was doing live, everybody saying it's a hit. It smells like one. But if he took but the thing about it is like if he took the rap for her friend that he was cheating on Megan with, or vice versa, or wherever the hell it was. If he took them 10 years and then he tried to apologize on the phone while he was locked up already, if he took them 10 years, he's gonna have to eat them 10 years. Because ain't no way in the world. Listen, you trying to give me 10? No, she shot him. I was messing with her. She was jealous of Megan. So I was trying to stop her from shooting Megan, but she shot her. Look at the evidence. I ain't shooting. Like, but if you saying that you can't snitch, or there's something they saying that you will be unalive, or your family get buried, if you's told, then you're gonna have to eat them 10 years. By the way, speaking of which, probably gets hit with all three, you'll never see him again. Well, did he? Mr. Combs, Sean Combs. He gets hit with all three. All three of those charges, if he's convicted of at least one, carries a minimum sentence between 10 to 50 years in prison, if not more. If he's convicted of all three, kiss him goodbye. R. Kelly's doing 30 years right now. By the way, I'm not going to bore you with Black folks getting locked up. I'm going to also tell you something that I found out about a white man that got locked up. Derek Chauvin, of course, the murderous piece of shit cop that killed George Floyd. Now everybody's talking about, well, Trump said he was going to pardon Derek Chauvin. Men of the state of Minnesota and states around it are gearing up for riot gear if Trump tries to pardon this man. If I'm the vice president or the president that was elected, because Elon's really running the country, I'm not doing jack for that man. No, let him stay in there. Trying to run you already cutting back on housing, Medicaid, EBT, the food banks, USAID for free food for the poor and downtrodden. You cutting jobs in the federal government. You got Doe sending out dumbass emails every damn day. You got chaos, chicanery. Why cause more destruction? People are starving under this administration. Some of them have died under this administration. Why are we causing more pain? Are we all like, the thing about it is, and people are agreeing with it. Yes, right. Trump's doing what he's supposed to do. When you have no job no more, don't say nothing to me. Period. And then you got to rehire those people back because you need those people because they're qualified to do the job. And all these cutbacks, where is the money going? Where is the cash flow? It's going in America. No, it's not. It's not going back in America because you're also cutting the aid to the farmers. Where is that money going? You know where it's going? Right back in Trump's and Elon Musk's pocket and all those rich American screw jobs that run corporations into the ground that pollute and destroy farmland, and it's going right into those CEOs' pockets. Meanwhile, the average American is about to lose their home to the big banks, and the bank's going to swallow it and sell the piece of janky crap to another sucker that wants to feel like they are getting the American dream. Let me just stop y'all right there. All the money is not going back into the America to pay for the national debt. Meanwhile, the national debt is increasing. The tariffs are going higher. Everything's increasing. There's no more health care. There's no more nothing. Nobody can afford everything. The next thing is going to be like Nazi Germany, where Trump is going to put everybody into a work camp to work off the debt to Putin, to whatever Putin has done for him. With Trump in office, you're looking at a new Russia. There should be a sickle. There should be a sickle painted across the United States of America flag. I just gave you the real reason why there's a distraction called the Diddy trial. The Diddy trial is not the trial of the century. It's a trial of crap. And the reason why is that for all the other stuff that he's done and gotten away with, he should have been in jail a long damn time ago. I'm gonna give you one example. Ask Frank Barrow, aka Shine, the hip hop artist that he blamed for that 1999, that New Year's Eve shooting when Buffy was running around with J-Lo, with Jennifer Lopez. And he threw Sean under the bus. But everybody says, I know you shot me. Even Sean said he did. And the thing about it is, well, Puffy must have gave Sean a bag. Puffy ain't give Sean a damn thing. Took 10 years out of that man's life. So whatever. So it's just like the O.J. Simpson thing. O.J. may have gotten away with murder. By the way, I got another theory about who actually did it and how O.J. knows this person. But the thing about it is that let me just explain something. When O.J. stole his memorabilia back, the judge gave him the fullest sentence because the simple fact of the matter is, she even said, this is karma for what you did back in 1994. When you got away, it felt like that everybody felt like OJ got away with double murder for Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. And he ain't do a day behind that. He wasn't convicted about it at all. He got acquitted. And everybody thinking that it's going that same thing happen to the pub, that this is a black man that was victimized by the system because he was going to buy Ciroc, and Ciroc, he was going to separate from them and all that other stuff like that. Let me just explain something to y'all crying about that because he making millions. First of all, he ain't giving y'all none. Second of all, let me just explain this. Are there African-American men that are victimized by the system because they speak out against it, because they rally against it every single day, or they're just victims of pretty much dumb luck that happen every day? We've seen it from Philando Castile to Michael Brown to George Floyd that have been murdered by the police and didn't really get any justice unless there were riots that happened. Yes, there are African-American men still out here fighting injustice behind walls that were wrongly convicted of these particular crimes. Yes, there are. There have been cases that have been overturned because they didn't have enough evidence. Yes, there are. Is Sean Diddy Combs an example of that? No, the hell he isn't. He is not an example of it. Robert Sylvester Kelly, or R. Kelly, is not an example of it. Marion Suge Knight, the former owner of Death Row Records, is not an example of it. They are examples of what you should not do when you get money, power, and fame. You should not screw over your artists. You should not have freak offs that you have to get intravenously, where you get dehydrated from. You should not threaten to kill your artists or throw them out the window. You should not rape little children, especially girls, and you should not sexually or human traffic people all across the state for your own, all across the country, nationally and internationally for your own sexual needs. You should not do none of these things. That's what all of them have done. They are not examples of that. Stop using them as examples of that. Stop using them as, the examples that you should use. Huey Newton, Medgar Evers, who were killed, those people who were killed. Martin Luther King assassinated. Malcolm X assassinated. These niggas fucked up. And I say it like that so y'all can get it through your heads. All y'all defending them because they entertainers. The real leaders, the ones that are fighting for rights inside Congress, are not being respected. Like Senator Al Green. Or others that are not being respected. Her own Chantel Brown has been getting flack from everything. And she's fighting for our particular human rights and the rights to breathe inside Congress against this evil administration that don't give a damn about African-American people, Latin people. They're throwing people that they could deport us back to Africa, they would. Would give two F's about it. But we're sitting here defending these entertainers that have done nothing for us except destroy African-American communities. And when the victims come out and say, he raped me and I have evidence to prove it, y'all saying you enjoyed it because you got the bag for it. There is no price on human decency. And damn, if I have to say it again, there is no price on someone's soul. Stop blaming the victim when they come out. That's why your mother that's why your sister couldn't come out when your uncle was molesting her, because y'all would have shamed her and try to kick her out the family. And we've all made those mistakes, assuming, including myself. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. And I was wrong for the assumption. But the bottom line is that all of this stuff could have been avoided if we would just listen. And even everybody knows in hip hop, we know how much of a creep he is. But because Jadakiss from the Lock said it best about Mr. Combs, he's a paper gangster. He'll pay somebody to do his dirty work for him. Because his father, Melvin, was a paper gangster until he got shot. And according to the rumors about Sean Combs' father, is that Melvin Combs was killed because the simple fact of the matter is he was selling drugs and he snitched on his co-conspirator, on his buddies. They found out he snitched to the local authorities and they had him dealt with. Why wasn't his murder solved? Because the people know in the hood what happened to him. And yes, and Scruffy may have been groomed by Clive Davis and other regular Tommy Mottola and all them nasty bastards. Let's not get into that. By the way, Clive hadn't said anything about this particular trial because he's claiming amnesia. I don't know who this man is. He's claiming, he's pretty much Alzheimer's. Well, Clive Davis is suffering from Alzheimer's at age 80-something 9 years. Man, shut up. He ain't trying to get himself into it because all points bulletin will go back to his old ass. Y'all don't get it. Seriously. And the thing about it is maybe I'm tired of saying it. But I'm not trying to tear down my brothers. I want my brothers who are trying to do the right thing to watch out for BS that comes your way. You can't take control of 19-year-olds. Oh, by the way, you also can't have relationship with 18, 19-year-olds. AKA Shannon Sharp. He's landed it bag with Club Shay, his podcast, First Take, ESPN, $100 million and stuff like that. Then you find out that he's messing with this OnlyFans 19-year-old model who wanted to have his big black baby. And now she's suing him for $50 million. And then you offered her $10 million first. She wouldn't take it. Well, we already know Tony Busby's behind that. So pretty much pack it up. What is it a conspiracy maybe to get Shannon off the air or something like that? Maybe it is, but it's 57-year-old ass should to listen to Monique on his podcast. Settle down with an old African-American woman so you don't have to deal with these problems. Why can't and Shannon was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Your country bumpkin ass just got canned for the NFL draft. By the way, the Browns picked up Stuart Sanders, and he's moved over Dylan Gabriel on the depth chart. Y'all really thought and the thing about it is there are warning signs that God himself, the Almighty Creator, gives you and tells you, don't do it. But you ignore the Creator and do it anyway. Ooh. I learned my hard lesson the hard way. By the way, I got to give a shout out to my son's mother, Darlene Jackson Hutton, her husband, Larry L.J. Hutton, and my son, Jalen Gardner. And the Smith Station Junior High School band. Jalen did wonderful. But back to what I was saying is this. Shannon should have knew better. He saw it coming. He's seen other people fall like this. He should have cut that woman off. That 19-year-old, you should have been like, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I'm not having it no more. And the thing about it is she wanted $25,000 for each cheat. Like I said, and then Shannon goes on and says, y'all women weren't in my tax bracket. She wasn't either. She was an OnlyFans model, selling her pretty much showing her private parts that you probably stuck your thing in to the whole damn world to see. And I'm sure that now that her name has been leaked, and I forgot her name, I don't even want to remember it, that her OnlyFans page has been boosted to star status because of you. You could have ended all this by just going ahead and walking away. Nah. You thought you was better than that. And then you want to say these allegations are false. I'm going to fight these allegations. Then the phone calls come out. By the way, if you know that you have video or text messages or things of that nature, you might want to clear those up before they come out. Despite the freak offs and all that and the video and everything else like that, what Cassie said, it was still considered Stockholm Syndrome because she was trapped in there for 10 years. I mean, the man blew up Kid Cudi car and Kid Cudi from Ohio. Or tried to blow it up or however it went, the story goes. Because he and Cassie was talking. Just talking. Not even messing around. They was just talking. You think she could leave that easy? And for those that are saying that her husband, the one that she has 2 girls by and 1 on the way, her husband Alex should divorce her, y'all are really sick too. And he about to divorce her because of all the stuff that she's done. The thing about it is let me give you another point to ponder. You see the man that she talked about abusing your now wife, who has caused this thing for 10 years. He was her personal trainer, trying to get her out of this mess. You see him for the first time. Don't you think as a man, you want to go and haul off and knock his damn head off to the point where it's boiling on the damn courtroom floor? Problem solved. There's a certain level of street justice that Diddy needs to account for, that he needs to. Pretty much what I'm saying is, for what he did to Cassie in that hotel room, Sean Combs needed his ass beat. He needed to be drugged by the arm. He needed to see how it feels. See, the problem is he needed his ass beat. And the thing about it is that he hasn't gotten it. One good humble pie, one humble pie bitch slap would have straightened him all the way out. Wow. Like I don't believe in violence, but in some instances, in some cases, that if you have to lay hands on somebody to let it get to the message that you can't do this to nobody else. The reason why Sean Combs, Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call him, didn't think it was mental. No, the thing about it is he didn't get that physical ass whipping that he should have gotten when he put his hands on Cass. Because his bodyguards wouldn't let him do it. So imagine your husband testifying about your psyche to the prosecutors, and you see the man now has gray hair because he can't get no dye in there. It's gray hair. You looking right at this monster, and you want to just jump off and jump on his head and start beating him with the gavel that the judge uses to call court to order, or a sledgehammer, whichever comes first. That's why he left. It's not that he was angry at her. Don't get it twisted. He's angry at him. And the thing about it is, that's where my anger is. Because of the simple fact of the matter is, you're supposed to have been a prime example of what not to do. You were the anti-Suge Knight. You were the party person. Sean, you were the clothes designer. Now you doing all this? I can't listen to Biggie Smalls and all the other artists that you produce the same. There's only so much bad boy I can listen to. I have a whole playlist of not only that, 112 total. Faith, another story. All that stuff going on. And unfortunately, Miss Wallace, the mother of the late, great, Notorious B.I.G., has passed on this year. And you wasn't there. You know why? Because you was in jail facing your own hell. That you caused. He caused this mess. He ain't omnipotent in this. Oh, this was a setup. No, this was a freak off that got crazy. Ain't no man should have a whole bunch of freaking baby oil in his day. Ain't that enough baby oil in the world can slide you out of this now. Out of your damn mind. And like I said before, I don't care if you're white, black, or multicolored. If you do wrong, you get wrong. Vince McMahon should have lost the whole WWE years ago by doing what he's done. That's why he was voted out. Right? Triple H is his son-in-law, the CEO, because of the simple fact of the matter is Triple H even told him, hey, you can't be doing this. You can't be violating stuff like this. You see John Laurinaitis anywhere around here? No, because he was accused of the same thing. You see a lot of the old guard in the WWE has been replaced by by TKO company is because of what Vince has done. The legacy that he didn't leave behind for his children, Stephanie and Shane. He had to leave it at Triple H. Somebody had to be the CEO. Triple H was the best person to do it. We see the creativity that he had. But the bottom line is that if Vince McMahon wasn't such a demon, demonic, demonic spirit having bastard that the WWE could have been passed down to Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H the right way instead of having another company take over because nobody was going to watch it anymore because all the sexual allegations that Vincent did, him and his old cronies. That stuff catches up to you quickly. Karma is cold, and it will slap you straight up in the face. I know because it happened to me, and I didn't even do any of the shit they've done. By the way, Vince is racist. Just put it out there. Him and Hulk Hogan are. I don't even like Hulk Hogan no more. But the bottom line is, when I got on here tonight, and I know that I started a little bit later than I did, the whole thing was about Diddy. Everybody, Al B. Sure even said that Diddy had something to do with me being sick. Could have almost caught Al's ass because Quincy Brown, quote on Diddy's oldest son is actually Al B. Sure's oldest son, Al Brown. That's his actual name, Al B. Sure. His real name is Al Brown. He told Quincy to get out of there and come on when this first happened. And please, and Sean Combs, his mama was there. Janice, you should have just. My mother, I love my mother. Well, she would have been there for me, but she wouldn't have condoned. My mother, Anita France, she wouldn't have condoned none of this. I'd probably rather be in jail rather than face her, because she probably would have knocked me out a couple of times. But the thing is that, and it would have been well deserved. And the thing about it is, like Sean Combs' daughters, having them in the courtroom, the sons maybe, but none of and why was Misa Hayton there? His baby mama, she was supporting her son, Justin. Well, why was Kim Porter's father there? Because Puffy has children with Kim Porter, and that's their grandfather. He's supporting the grandchildren, their emotional support. See, this goes down to the children. See, what y'all really don't understand is that all this debauchery goes down to those children, his children, adoptive or not, his children. They go down there. He never married Kim. He cheated on Kim, just like he cheated on Cassie, just like he cheated on everybody else, like he cheated. And the thing about it is, like, he cheated everybody else out of there. And the thing about it is, I am not making any excuses for the man. So this is karma catching up with him. So however the creator wanted to give Sean Combs his karma, we can have our little debates, but don't attack victims of domestic violence. Don't argue with women. You not go, listen, this week, fellas, I'm going to tell you what. The best way, if you want to say Larry, that's simping or whatever, the best way is to, unless you don't want to get a date in life ever again, just don't argue with no woman on Facebook right now. On social media platform, don't argue with them on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, anywhere, on Blue Sky, Threads, none of that shit. Don't argue with especially African American women. Just don't argue with them. Just don't be like, you know what, you're right, you had this. If she says something that she's emotionally distressed, if you want to provide support, I've seen a couple of dudes on here that just wanted to jump on there and argue with women about their pain. You don't want to do that. Why are you hopping on their posts arguing about their pain? Just scroll past. You want to be known as I'm team. If you say you team Diddy, then you want to be diddled. That's the problem. That's the bottom line. If you say you with Diddy, you want to be diddled. You want to be Meek Mill. All right? That's pretty much you. That's pretty much it. I'm with Diddy. Diddy gonna go. We don't know if Diddy gonna go free or not. Listen, we ain't talking about the Cuyahoga County court. We talking about the federal government, the United States federal government. When the feds got you, if he walks away from this, it was meant for him to walk away. But the thing about it is, like, if he walks away from this, he's already a pariah. Nobody's gonna mess with him again. His name is already scorched as far as, we ain't gonna mess with you again. You ain't gonna make no more music. You're not gonna produce anybody else. You would have to beg to be on somebody else's album at this particular point in time. And Diddy's rap game sucks. Ain't nobody coming in no more no more Diddy parties. Ain't nobody coming in those. Them's over with. But the creator will find a way to make you see your ways, your error in your bad ways. He will find a way. And if the creator finds a way to make you see that you've done something wrong, that's what? That's what? You will find you will reap what you sow. So whatever punishment that the creator has for Mr. Combs, y'all are nobody on this earth, you or I, nor anybody else can stand in its way. It's coming. Judgment Day for a lot of these so-called Hollywood moguls, freak-offs, or whatever, is coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. If nobody tells you that they love you today, I do. And I apologize. I don't think I'm yep, I did. Hold on. If nobody tells you they love you today, I do. I'm about to go ahead and I don't know if I'm gonna watch the rest of these playoffs. By the way, I haven't seen Sinners yet, but I heard it's a great movie. Go see Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. I'm going to try to do that this weekend while I rest. This is the first time in a while that I had a chance to rest on the weekend. So enjoy yourselves and make sure that you hug your mothers and fathers because you don't know how long they're going to be here. If nobody tells you they love you today, I do. Thank you for tuning in. This is Larry H. Gardner of Headlines, Headaches, of VoiceItRadio.com. Signing out.